Hi, my name is Georgie and I'm one of the student recruitment officers here at the University of Birmingham. Today I'm going to be talking you through student finance, the student finance application process and some of the kind of money that you'd be eligible for when applying for student finance. It is really important to note that this information I'm giving today is correct as of the time. So it is aimed at students going into university in September 2020. However, if you are in year 12 looking at going to university in 2021, a lot of this information will be the same, but what you'll probably find is some of the numbers around how much money you're eligible for might have changed slightly. So it's always worth double checking before you apply. So there are two main costs when you're looking at going to university. The first one is your tuition fees. At the moment, the maximum universities can charge is £9,250. Some universities will charge a little bit less if you're looking at studying part-time. So it can vary, but the majority of universities, you're looking at that £9,250. The second loan you have is your maintenance loan. Again, it is a loan, so it is repayable, and this will help with your living costs such as your rent, bills, food, and everything else we mentioned earlier. It is means tested, so part of this maintenance loan will depend on your household income. Everybody is eligible for a minimum amount, and then dependent on how much your parents earn will depend on how much extra you'll be eligible for. There is also extra support available for students who have a disability, long-term health condition, mental health condition, learning difficulties, or if you have a child or adult dependent. So if you do feel like you come into one of those categories, it is really important you do a little bit of extra research to see what extra money you could be eligible for. So we're going to break down your maintenance loan into a couple of tables to give you a bit of an idea of how much you could be eligible for. Maintenance loan is split into 4 areas. So you've got if you're planning on staying at home and commuting to university, if you're planning on moving out but not going to London, if you're thinking of going to London, and then if you're planning on studying overseas for 1 year of your study. This isn't for those that are planning at studying for their whole degree overseas, but if you're going for 1 year as part of your university education. The reason London is split up from elsewhere is because it is important to understand that the cost of living in London could be a little bit more expensive than other places in the UK, so you are actually eligible for a little bit more. So if you have a look at the table, you can see that you've got the maximum loan that you could be eligible for, the amount that's non-income assessed, so that's the amount that everybody would be eligible for, and then the amount that's income assessed. So everybody will receive somewhere above that middle column. It is about 56% that is income assessed, so it is quite a large proportion of the loan, but we'll break this down a little bit further. So as you can see on the top column, I've got the 3 different areas, so staying at home, moving to London, or moving away but not London. And then you've got a list of kind of average household income, so you can kind of get a rough idea of how much money you would be eligible for. And this is a really good way to kind of start planning maybe the sort of accommodation you want based on how much you could get. If you want to get a real exact number of how much student finance maintenance loan you'd be eligible for, you can go onto the government website, so gov.uk/student finance, and they do have a calculator available, so you can just go in, put in your exact parental household income, and it will tell you exactly how much you'd get, so you can really get a specific idea of how much maintenance loan you will get. There are also scholarships and bursaries available, and whenever you hear these two terms, this is money that you don't have to repay back. It is available to students whilst they're studying at university, and it can be for a number of different things. A lot of the time they are based on things like academic achievement, so maybe you get 1 entry grade higher than what the university is asking for. They can be based on a particular subject. There are a lot of scholarships based on household income, and I'm going to talk through one of the ones that we offer in a moment. Or they can be for certain professions, especially around the NHS. So it is important to have a little look to see if you would be eligible for any extra scholarships and bursaries. Another thing a lot of universities do is they have award schemes. So they might give you money off accommodation, they might give you a reduction in tuition fees, and they can often give you a cash card so you can go out and spend things on campus. Or it could be a different combination of those awards. Usually universities that have those award schemes are looking for you to put them as your firm choice on UCAS, so your first choice. So it is really important that you read the small print with these scholarships and bursaries. So as I mentioned, one of the scholarships that we have available here at the University of Birmingham is our Chamberlain Award. This is available to all students studying any subject and is £2,000 per year as a cash bursary paid directly to you. To be eligible for this scholarship, you either have to have a household income of below £25,000, or if you successfully complete one of our Pathways to Birmingham programmes and your household income is below £60,000, or your household income is below £60,000 but you are identified as a low progression area. If you do want to find out if that's you, you can go onto our website and put in your postcode and we'd be able to let you know. This is an automatic scholarship awarded to you, so the only thing you need to do when you're filling out your student finance is tick the box that says that you're prepared for student finance to share your details of the university, and therefore we'll be able to give you that scholarship. Other sources of finance, so there are other ways that you might be looking to have money while studying at university. So we've already talked about scholarships and bursaries. There are some NHS funded bursaries available. So the newest one at the moment is the NHS Maintenance Grant, which is £5,000 per year for every year of your studies for students going into certain disciplines such as nursing. If you wanted to do a year in industry or a professional placement year, you do actually get paid for that year as well. You might want to look at getting a part-time job whilst you're studying with us, whether you become a student ambassador, work for your subject department, work in one of the local shops or for the Students' Union. There are loads of different places you can get a part-time job both on and off campus. You might have a look at doing a summer job either before you come to university or when you go home in your summer holidays to earn a little bit of extra money before you come to university. Trusts and charities, there are sometimes some charities that have some money to give to certain students from certain areas. So again, doing a little bit of research can pay off. And finally, your parents. So you might want to speak to your parents about whether they'd be willing to give you some money whilst you're studying, whether it's a weekly allowance or a monthly allowance. It is always worth having that conversation. So what about repaying your loans? So we've talked a little bit about the fact that they are loans, so you do have to repay them. Okay, so repayments, the first thing to note about repayments is that you do actually get a year off. So most of you will finish studying your degree in around the May time, normally have your graduation ceremony in July or August, and then you've actually got until the following tax year until you have to start repaying your loan. So you do get a year off. It is capped at 26,575 and this is a new figure that is to be confirmed for April 2020. At the moment it is about 25,000, but we're expecting it will probably stay at this higher level, which means if you are earning below that £26,575, you don't actually have to repay your student loan. So student loans are linked to your salary, not how much you've borrowed. Therefore, if your salary drops below the £26,575, payments are frozen, so you only pay above that. It is one repayment each month, and this is taken out of your paycheck, so the money's already gone out of your account before you've received your payslip. So you never have to worry about somebody coming knocking at your door asking for that money or trying to factor it into your monthly bills. The money has already been taken. So how much are they going to be taking once you are earning over that threshold? So the amount is 9% of anything above that figure, not 9% of your total salary, 9% of anything above that figure. So if we have a little look at the table on the screen, what you can do is you can see some average salaries per year before tax, and then you can see how much will be deducted from that, and then the average monthly repayments. So for example, if you are earning £31,575 a year, you are earning £5,000 over the threshold. So 9% of that is about £450. Divide it by 12, you're approximately paying £37 a month back. Usually lower than the average mobile phone bill. So it's an important thing to think about. Interest is applied to your loan, so it is a loan, there is interest. But again, more information can be found on the website. Okay, so you do have to pay interest on your student loan, and this will depend on whether you're studying at university or whether you've completed your degree. So whilst you are studying at university, the interest is the rate of inflation plus 3%. Once you've graduated, if you are earning less than the threshold, so less than that £26,575, you just pay the rate of inflation. If you are earning anything between that 26,000 and the 46,000, it can be anywhere between rate of inflation and up to 3%. Once you go over £46,305, it is capped at the rate of inflation plus 3%. So the interest you pay will depend on whether you're still studying for your degree or how much you're earning once you have completed your degree programme. The payment process. So how are you going to get access to this money that you are eligible for? So as already mentioned, tuition fee loans are paid directly to the institution, but they are paid in separate instalments. The first one in enrolment week in September, and then usually the second one is in about January and then after Easter. So you don't actually pay for the full year up front. Maintenance loans, bursaries and scholarships are all paid directly to you as the student, and these can also be in various different ways. Your maintenance loan is paid the same as tuition fee loans, so again looking at those 3 instalments of enrolment, January and Easter. Bursaries and scholarships can be paid in a number of different ways. Some universities do them with enrolment, some wait until after Christmas, and some can even wait until you finished your first year. So it is really important that you have a look as to when you're going to be receiving that money. If you are planning on going overseas after you have graduated, it is really important that you do let Student Finance know, because they will adjust your repayment based on which country you are going to. If you're not going to be earning any money, that is absolutely fine. You won't have to repay your student loan as you will be below the threshold, but it is still important that you let them know you're planning on going overseas. For the application process, everything is done online at gov.uk/student finance. So that is where you register for your account and you put in all your information. If you are looking at starting in 2020, the deadline is May this year. So it is important that you start having a look at the application process. In order for you to complete the application process, you will need your passport, your national insurance number, and your bank account details. And you must have a bank account in your own name. So if you don't have one of those already, it is important that you get one set up before you apply. When you are applying online, you apply as if you're going to your preferred university, so your first choice on UCAS. Don't worry if you're still waiting for a conditional offer or you're not sure you're going to get in or anything like that, because what happens is on results day you can always change where it is that you're going, and it is a lot easier to just change your university or your course than to apply completely in August. So it is really important that you still do it now, even if you don't have a confirmed place. You might have to send extra evidence to Student Finance as well, so it is really important that if your parents are self-employed or they're separated, you might have to provide extra evidence. So it is really important if you do it early, just in case, so you can get that information across to them. If you want any further information on anything that I've talked about during my presentation, you can go on to gov.uk/student finance. Thank you very much for listening.